Hey everyone, Casey Scanlon here. Going to give you a quick recap of my tournament at Lake Okeechobee. We had the first Bassmaster Open of the year just this past week, and I'm back home in Missouri now, going through all my tackle, switching absolutely everything out and putting new stuff in for Lake Ouachita in Arkansas. So I've never been there, but been to Okeechobee several times and always loved starting the year off in Florida. And Okeechobee was a little bit different this year. So I'm gonna walk you through just kind of how the event unfolded for me. So we showed up right after a full moon and right after a big Toyota Series tournament. They had a warming trend, basically absolutely perfect conditions for Florida for that Toyota Series tournament. And they had some pretty good weights. You know, the winner had good weights, and overall, you know, I think it took high 20s to cash a paycheck and like 30 pounds to fish the top 25. So pretty good weights for Okeechobee. I've been there a ton over the years, and it changes every single time. It's a different lake every time you go there. The vegetation grows differently. It grows in different areas. You know, the water level fluctuates. So every time you go there, let's just say you've caught some fish last time you were there in the most beautiful like backwater that you could ever imagine. Well, the next time you go there, it probably does not exist. You know, there's probably a few sprigs of grass. It just looks completely different. So it changes year by year, but the fish kind of gravitate towards a lot of the same areas, and it must be just the hard bottom, the protection from the wind, and bait fish. That's all I can really guess. They love going to the same places over and over because it just have the perfect ingredients for them to spawn, whether it's the hard bottom or being protected from the wind and elements and clear water, or just the presence of food. So one of those factors keeps them going to the same places. I don't know why, but they keep going to a lot of the same general areas, and you have to refine them and learn that area again. So this tournament, we're following up the Toyota Series. Those guys crushed on them, and we started practice over the weekend while that tournament was going on, which I absolutely hate. Nowadays we have a ton of tournaments out here, so you're always following up something, but I hate it when we've got lots of photos, maybe it's televised, highly publicized events prior to you getting in there, because not only do the fish receive pressure, but all of the competitors are able to see what the guys before them did, and it kind of clues them into areas, baits, things like that, and maybe puts people in positions they wouldn't normally be in. But I love going to a lake fresh where no one has any kind of idea of maybe what's going to unfold throughout the week. And this tournament wasn't like that, but we had some adverse conditions, and practice was pretty tough. So we started under ideal conditions over the weekend, the Saturday, Sunday, when that Toyota Series was going on. Ideal conditions, slick, calm, sunny, hot, fish were moving up. So those were the days to really find them. The first day of practice, ran all around the lake, kind of got a gauge for what it looked like. And in the meantime, I broke in my brand new Nitro Z21 XL. I got probably 3 or 4 hours on it before I left home here for Florida. So when I got down there, I figured it'd be a good idea to cruise around, get a lay of the land, see how everything looked, and put a few hours on my motor for tournament time. So that was successful. I ran around the lake, stopped in some places that looked good, made a few casts, and most of the time I caught a fish or two real quick. So fish were biting, weather was warm, and then Monday hits and we got a cold snap. And it's cold temperatures for Florida, cold mornings, cold nights, and the fish did not want to bite. I had one really good day of practice during that cold front, went down south and just tried to punch mats all day. Found one little stretch where the fish were funneling in there, and I felt really, really good about it. The fish were all white, healthy fish just moving in off the lake. It was kind of a pinch point, a place where they were, kind of swimming into where they would spawn at. And I caught 3 or 4 right away, including a 6-pounder. The other ones were all over 3 and healthy and fat and full of eggs. So felt really good about that. Spent most of the rest of the practice up north. That's where I have confidence fishing. That's where I've normally fished on Lake Okeechobee. And so final day of practice, go down south and try those fish again. I'm using a 1.5, I believe it was a 1.5 ounce Bass Pro Shops XPS tungsten weight, big weight, and then just a Bass Pro Shops black and blue beaver. I believe it's called a river bug on the back of there. So flipping that on a 4-aught Hayabusa FPP HD hook. So really super strong hook. Man, it's a J style hook. You hook them all. So 50-pound or 65-pound Bass Pro Shops braid. Love this XPS braid. Been really good over the past year or two of me using it. And so went down there, flipped those fish up. They were really heavy mats. They were blown up into some reeds, and they were good fish. So I was planning on starting my tournament down there, and I went back the final day of practice, fished through there with the chatterbait, the Bass Pro Shops Sticko, which has been my all-time favorite Cinco style bait for a long time, and black with blue tail, can't go wrong anywhere, but Florida, they love it. So fish the Cinco, fish the chatterbait, and then after not getting a lot of bites on what I thought I could get some bites on around that area, I went in there and started flipping the mats again, and you know what? I didn't get any bites. So there were some areas down. I had one backwater up north that was great, had a bunch of fish in it, but they weren't that big. But I felt like the bigger ones were gonna follow suit. They were gonna follow those males in there, and they're gonna start making beds. It was a beautiful backwater, and it wasn't getting a ton of traffic. And then I had an area where I've caught them several times in the past where I've been here. It's a well-known area, and it looks absolutely completely different almost every time I've been here. And so there was a lack of vegetation this time. It didn't look very good, but I went straight over to where some of my old waypoints were in practice. It looked completely different. There was still some cover over there. I mean, I caught fish immediately, but everybody was over there. So I don't like fishing around other boats if I don't have to. And so going down south and not catching those fish, I'm like, man, you need to go around some fish. They're gonna bite, and you probably need to go up north. You got more history up there. You got more stops up there. You spent more practice time up there. So first day of the tournament, we roll out there, we go up north and get around a pack of boats. We get up there late, unfortunately, get started, and the guys are already catching them. So we settle down. We've got a long day, fished crazy hard, and the fish would just not cooperate with me. I lost one or two really good sized fish. I shouldn't say good sized fish. 1 or 2 fish that would have really helped me. I weighed in 9 pounds, 1 ounce, which is tiny in Florida. Honestly, in Florida, when you go down there, you need a 5 or 6 pound bite every day. You're gonna catch a lot of little fish. They're either real small or real big. So I never got that big bite. I had couple 3-pounders hooked up. I was fishing around some really heavy cover late in the day, a lot of bushes and stuff in the water, and I just leaning on those fish real hard, trying to keep them away from cover and using light line, unfortunately, and they came off. So I lost a couple. Wasn't really mad about it. Didn't really hurt me that much because I got 9 pounds and I'm out there shooting for 33 or whatever it took to win the first day or lead the first day. So and the real bad part about that was that I watched a lot of those. I watched a lot of that 33 pounds get caught within casting distance of my boat. I stopped on my old waypoints where I got a few bites in practice, and leader of the Derby was right there, and he was fishing slow, methodical, just like everybody else, using the Garmin live scope and catching them. So first day and second day, this was my main player. I was throwing it on a wacky rig, I don't know what I did with my pack of hooks. But throwing it on Wacky Rig, 10-pound Bass Pro Shops XPS fluorocarbon, and a 10-pound, actually a 15-pound Bass Pro Shops braided main line. I was using yellow. I really like that bright line nowadays. You can see the bites. But Hayabusa 1/0 and 2/0 Wacky Fluoro as the hook. That fluorocarbon, it has a really heavy fluorocarbon line on there that is attached to the top of that hook that acts as kind of a weed guard. So lots of vegetation in Florida, need something to keep this bait out of that vegetation, and this did an awesome job. The vegetation's very unforgiving, so if you get snagged, it's like you're using 10-pound line, you're gonna break it. But this is really good. Didn't get snagged much at all. And this is by far my favorite Sticko or Cinco style bait. It's the Bass Pro Shops Sticko, 5 3/8 inch. I've been using it for years. Weightless, with a weight, on a shaky head, it doesn't matter. I know a lot of guys love the Yamamoto. They wouldn't throw anything else. It's the original. But I'm telling you right now that this is by far my favorite Cinco style bait, and one of the best out there that you can get. Super affordable, and I'll put it against a Cinco any day of the week. I love the fall rate, I love the action, and I love that they come in 20 packs and they're not $8 or $9. They're super durable, incredibly cheap, and they've got great colors, and they catch the heck out of some fish. And then so day 2, needed a bigger bag, obviously. Went back up north, started in the same spot, except this time I was able to get up there a little bit earlier before a lot of the boats came in there. And really it wasn't about the boats being there as much as the pressure. It was more like the noise of the boats, I feel like, shut these fish down a little bit. And then I just basically threw the Bass Pro Shops new Chatter Bomb, 1/2 ounce, and I had a green pumpkin trailer on that. And got up there in the morning, was just trying to cover a little bit of water before everybody got there. And I had a 7-12, just absolutely slackline that chatterbait. And I mean, just crushed it. So landed that fish, got the day off to a great start. Fished around for 3 or 4 more hours, no more bites. Picked up the Wacky Rig Sticko again, caught one on an isolated target, like a 3-pounder. And I'm sitting there and half the day's gone by. I've got 2 good fish, and I've got this backwater that I know that's got a bunch of fish in it. So I ran over there, set my boat down. I got 3 or 4 hours to fish maybe. And I just threw that Wacky Rig Sticko around absolutely everywhere, and caught probably 20 keepers in there, a few good ones. Lost one really big one on the Trophy Bass Company swim jig. Well, I shouldn't say that. He came up, missed the swim jig, boiled on it twice. So I threw the Sticko, the Wacky Rig Sticko back in there. Light line, really heavy cover. Hooked the fish. I was actually reeling it in, and the fish ate it off the surface. He wanted something up on top. So he ate that Cinco off the surface, and I gave him a second. And I wound down, set the hook on him. He took off to the right as hard as he could, and he's running for these 2 big bushes that are absolutely gnarly. I've got 10-pound line on. I don't think I can handle him if he gets in the bushes. So I just leaned on him crazy hard, and unfortunately that fish pulled off. But day 2, I made up 70 plus places. I was in like 124th, made up 70 plus places, moved up. I think I finished the event in 52nd. It was either 50th or 52nd, and just missed a check by, like a pound or so, and had the fish on to do it. Dealt with a little adversity, and just this tournament didn't go that smooth. It just felt like a battle the whole time, but, I was able to get some good points. Was able to survive Florida. It's kind of feast or famine down there. I love Florida. I've had some great tournaments, but you can have a really bad one really easy. And so I survived, got some decent points, got 52nd out of a large field of 225, so I'm not too mad at it. But I got to get some redemption at the next one. We're headed to Lake Ouachita. I've never been there. I absolutely love going to lakes that I've never been on and don't have any preconceived notions. I seem to do better that way a lot of times. So we're headed out in the morning. Wanted to give you guys a quick review of how my tournament at Lake Okeechobee went. So we're going to do the same here at Lake Ouachita. We're going to go out there. I got the nitro right here, rigging it up, getting it all packed up, got the truck outside ready to go. So now we're working on the boat. We're going to hitch up, head to Arkansas tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how that tournament unfolds, keep you updated on in practice and throughout the event. But we got to have a good one. We're going to shoot for a top 10 here. We don't get to fish in this region of the country that much. So I love Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and especially in the springtime. So I feel comfortable there. So looking forward to a good one. We'll keep you informed on that. So stay tuned. And until then, good luck out there fishing, and we'll give you an update soon.